we've seen multiple mass shootings here in the city of Chicago. Over 50 victims of gun violence, several people dead. You know, we've made the best argument for Donald Trump to say that action is necessary right now.
Yes. Democrat Chicago Alderman, that's like a city councilman in Chicago, Raymond Lopez. And he's a Democrat. He's a city councilman, an alderman in Chicago. And he thinks, well, you know, we did have 7 people fatally shot and 54 more shot and wounded. Maybe we should get a little federal help. I don't want to be rash or anything, but, you know, 81% of Americans believe that crime is a major problem in big cities in America. Isn't that amazing? More than half of us believe that the U.S. military or National Guard assisting is a good thing. 53% of us believe that President Trump is right about crime and fighting crime. The Democrat Party is pro-crime. They're the party of pro-crime people, of pro-crime leaders, and pro-murder, pro-gang, pro-illegal alien. The Democrat Party, aren't they amazing? They're not on our side. And I do find it hard to believe that, the numbers yesterday, at least 54 shot, 7 fatally, Labor Day weekend gun violence in Chicago. And the mayor there, Brandon Johnson, let's go Brandon, and the governor, JB, I inherited my billions Pritzker, they're fighting against any suggestion that crime is a problem. Why would crime? That's not a problem. I mean, again, I know I did it again to Michael Piercy this morning, but it reminds me of the old, bad joke about the drunk. I think it's a drunk Irishman. And the joke is, drinking problem? I don't have a drinking problem. I drink, I fall down, I'm drunk. No problem. See, and the Democrats say, oh, crime? Crime's not 54 people shot, 7 fatally. No problem. That's not a crime problem. We don't have a crime problem here. Maybe they're drunk. It could be that they're drunk, these people. And they've got the mayor, Brandon Johnson. No federal troops. We're protecting our democracy. Yeah, for fewer and fewer people every year because of the number of people that are being murdered and the number of people that are fleeing the state of Illinois. Kind of important things ought to be important. In Chicago, and Chicago alone, one person is shot every 4 hours and 17 minutes. Every 4 hours and 17 minutes, somebody's shot. One person is murdered every, 19 hours and 59 minutes. That's less than 20 hours. So more than one a day. That's one a day used to be like vitamins, vitamins for kids, vitamins for everybody. Now it's a homicide in Chicago. So far this year, 293 people have been murdered in the city of Chicago, and the Democrats yell at you if you say, hey, don't you think you have a crime problem? 1,121 people have been shot and wounded in addition to the 293 people that have been murdered. Technically, only 245 of those shot to death. The rest by, hammer and sickle and forks and things like that. But let's go back to the audio, because on CNN, they have an anchor person named Boris Sanchez. Boris Sanchez. That is the Soviet influence in Latin America during the Cold War. That you see this frequently, actually. A Russian first name and a Latinx or Latinx, if you're Joe Biden, last name. But Boris Sanchez, he's a Democrat anchorman on CNN. And yesterday he was on the television with a Chicago alderman, that's a city councilman from Chicago. And they were talking about crime and madness. He's talking to Byron Sigcho Lopez. Byron Sigcho Lopez is the Chicago alderman, which is like a city councilman.
How do you respond to the argument that there were something like 50-plus shootings. 52 people, I should say, were shot in Chicago, 30 different shootings over the holiday weekend, 7 people killed. Aren't numbers like that still a problem that your city needs to address? What more can be done to address that?
Nah, nothing. It's fine. Really, it's perfectly fine. That's not a problem. That's a good level. And Boris Sanchez didn't have the latest numbers, but they do change quite rapidly, as I just said. Somebody shot every 4 hours and 17 minutes in Chicago, so it's not easy to keep up. And the Democrat, who is a city councilman, an alderman in the city of Chicago, his name is Byron Sigcho Lopez.
We also have had many instances where the administration has really escalated, exacerbated the violence in our country, in our cities. Trump is a dictator. I think we got to be very clear. He's trying to normalize violence. He's trying to normalize military deployment in American cities like LA, DC, Chicago, and many others to come. But what we have not seen is really a systemic investment that will actually address the core issues.
Now, what did he say in response to there being too many shootings and too many murders? Trump is a dictator and Trump is normalizing violence. You are pushing back against anyone that would fight crime. You are fighting to normalize violence. You are employing the Soviet playbook and accusing the other guy of doing exactly what you're doing in real time. But he did use a couple of big words. He used exacerbate and escalate. He's trying to, maybe he got one of those word-a-day calendars or something. But, yeah, it's Trump, you see. Trump is bad because he is trying to normalize violence as they fight against anybody that's fighting against crime. That's your Democrat Party. That's what he said. So many instances. The administration escalated, exacerbated violence in our country, in our cities. No. And Boris Sanchez, the fanker, the fake news anchor, the fanker, he sits there nodding, yes, like we're having nuggets of wisdom imparted to us by the Democrat councilman Byron Sigcho Lopez. Yeah, it's Trump. Trump is the problem. And the CNN anchor doesn't say, well, wait a minute. Now, come on. And then look at what's happened in Washington where we had almost 12 days between Democrats shooting and killing people here in Washington. And that's almost a record. It's not quite a record, but it's real good by our standards and the Democrats. So then in Illinois, they have a governor named J.B. Pritzker. He inherited billions of dollars because his grandfather and his family, they started and own the Hyatt hotel chain. So he doesn't have to do anything. The money just flows in like a waterfall all day, every day, which is good for him because he needs a lot of food. And here is J.B. Pritzker. He is railing. And what did he say? He said that President Trump, because he's fighting crime and wants to reduce the number of murders, and these guys say, no, this is normal. This is normal. We got 293 murders so far this year. Hey, that's better than some other years we've had, and that's what they tell you. So it's okay. Don't fight against it. Just be comfortable with it. Normalize it, to borrow a word from Byron Sigcho Lopez. And here comes the governor of the once great state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, who was asked about the discussion was crime and trying to fight crime. And naturally, what do? You attack Trump.
The other aims are that he'd like to stop the elections in 2026 or, frankly, take control of those elections. The playbook is the same. It's thwart the media. It's create mayhem that requires military interdiction.
What, create mayhem?
These are things that happen throughout history. And Donald Trump is just following that playbook.
What are you even babbling about? What? So talking about fighting crime, so Trump is going to create chaos that requires military intervention. It's your chaos. You're the governor of the state of Illinois. The Democrat mayor, let's go Brandon Johnson, is the Democrat mayor of the city of Chicago. And you guys are shouting down anybody that says, hey, why don't we reduce the number of murders so not so many kids get murdered next year? And then they send a check to Planned Parenthood and they call it choice, and everything is good. Isn't that great? Just amazing stuff. And what about he wants to stop the election in 2026, the midterm elections. He wants to stop. This is what he said. And then he chopped up a school child with a machete. Now, he didn't really, but if you're just going to go around and say things that are patently untrue, then let's go around and say things that are obviously and patently untrue. Isn't that amazing? These guys. And what is it to thwart the media? What are you even talking about? These people are very severely mentally impaired. I was reading about him yesterday. I learned, he's got a tranny. I think his first cousin is a tranny, a man dressed up as a woman saying, another billionaire, because the grandparents were so successful that all the useless offspring are all billionaires. Not that they have ever earned a dime themselves. I actually went to school with one of them when I was a kid, one of the Pritzkers in Chicago. And I don't even want to use his first name, but it seemed to be perfectly nice. I think he went on to become a heroin addict. And, it's not easy being a billionaire from a billionaire family. But I did look him up, and he's worth like $3 billion now. And he's never done anything. He buys Jerry Garcia guitars and things like that. Just amazing. Gavin Newsom is the Democrat governor of the failed state of California. And this is them. If you want law enforcement to arrest criminals, they want to start a civil war.
Donald Trump sent masked men, ICE and Border Patrol, to intimidate folks. That is a preview of things to come.
To arrest criminals.
He will send the National Guard. He will send them all across this country, and he will do so through Election Day, and he'll do so working in concert, as he has with ICE and Border Patrol, and he'll be sending them to voting booths and polling places all across this country. This is a real and serious moment.
Voting booths and polling places. I remember when the Black Panthers showed up at the polling places in Philadelphia with weapons and dressed like Mau Mau, militant, radical, racist group that they are. And they were there for Obama and intimidating anybody who's not an Obama person. And the New York Times and CNN applauded that, and they thought it was all quite wonderful. Isn't that great? And I also remember Joe Biden calling up 25,000 National Guard to Washington, D.C., and for Joe Biden's inauguration. 25,000. I think we have, like 1,500 or something in Washington, D.C. now. And the media applauded. The Democrats applauded. It's true you have to thwart the media if you're a Republican and you want to win anything because they lie about you all day and all night, but never mind that. So what Gavin Newsom is, what? And then do I recall the mayor, Brandon Scott of Baltimore, last week saying something very different, saying, well, yeah, gosh, I guess, yeah, I'd take a whole bunch of federal law enforcement, masks or no mask. They could be transgender law enforcement. And what was it? And what did the governor of Illinois, chubby boy, J.B. Pritzker, said? Yeah, Trump is going to be working in concert, or was that Newsom? In concert with federal law enforcement. Well, yeah, he's the president of the United States. They're federal law enforcement. They're fighting crime. I remember when Democrats used to be against crime. But this is the mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott. He's a Democrat and an MOC, a man of color. So the Democrats can't question him, and he's asking for more federal law enforcement.
If the president wants to help us continue to reduce gun violence in Baltimore, he could send us more agents to our local FBI, ATF, DEA.
So you want more FBI, ATF, and DEA in Baltimore. You're a racist. Who do you racist want those law enforcement to arrest? And again, these idiot governors, like the president working with federal law enforcement to enforce the law, and they're against it. They should all be deported to Uganda, honestly. You know that the all-new third-generation Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier is finally here. And the third generation builds on the incredible success of the previous two generations, which had already earned thousands of five-star reviews on Al Gore's amazing internet. They became a bestseller in no time. The new Thunderstorm uses two technologies that studies have shown help to kill up to 99.9% of bacteria and viruses. That thunderstorm removes dust and pet dander and smoke and all kinds of nastiness from the air that you breathe, that your family breathes. And you don't have to buy filters to replace over and over again. Either self-contained unit, you can hold one in your hand. They're only this big. The thunderstorm will help get rid of any stinky smell, guaranteed. Talking about trash cans and cigarette smoke and liberal protesters and musty basements. No match for the Eden Pure thunderstorm. And the smells will disappear in a matter of seconds. Right now, because we hang out together, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for a whole home protection. You can put one in your basement, your bedroom, your teenager's room. Give one as a gift. Bring one to the office. Anywhere you like to breathe clean, fresh air, all you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code Chris3, that's me, followed by the number 3, to save $200 American on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Chris3. Yes, sir. Yeah. We got more, and even MSDNC, they're confused and befuddled because they know they're supposed to be for crime, but, that's coming up.
And he'll do so working in concert, as he has with ICE and Border Patrol.
All right, let us go back to the telephones. More Democrat madness still to come. Let's go to Scott, calling from Sterling, Virginia. Scott, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
How are you today?
I'm great, Scott. Thank you.
Hey, these judges, that they're so smart, they can't count, but they say they can't continue because it's not an emergency. I think maybe to demonstrate to them that it is an emergency, we should revoke federal judges' pensions because we're $32 trillion in debt, and just reduce their pay by about 80%. And then maybe it would become an emergency.
Well, we've got a lot of emergencies, and one of them certainly is a fiscal emergency. I think it's $37 trillion in debt now, isn't it? I think it just went up another trillion last week. But these judges, and we got another judge who's a Clinton appointee whose brother is Justice Stephen Breyer on the Supreme Court, and another Democrat who has already been overruled on this. So, you can't, President Trump can't send National Guard in because, again, like you said, Scott, there's no emergency. How many murders would constitute an emergency, do you think? That's the mystery here. There's a fun, I don't think I'm going to have time to get to her today, but a fun woman in Chicago running for Congress, a black woman running for Congress, and a very nice-looking person. And she's railing on and on. It's the yuppie white women in Chicago who want to scream about Trump being a fascist, yet they keep themselves carefully, safely tucked away. Visit the hood or mind your own business on safety. That's the liberal white women who are, we're against enforcing the law. We want more crime. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and this Judge Breyer in California says that his brother is Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. But Judge Breyer, Charles Breyer, a Clinton appointee to the federal bench, judge rules Trump can't act as national police chief. So the Democrats are marshaling all of their forces in favor of crime, keeping crime high, keeping murder high. That's your Democrat Party. They want more crime. They're fighting for more crime, for more murder. I don't know how many times I have to say it. More Democrats, more murder. More Democrats, more crime. More Democrats, more illegal alien. How many of them are child rapists? So you see another one arrested who's another child rapist, illegal alien, and the Democrats are angry with you if you arrest illegal alien gang members who have been deported multiple times, and they're child rapists, and the Democrats will scream and yell at you. Isn't that amazing? And this guy, Breitbart has the story, and the Washington Post does not. Pretty amazing stuff. Sanctuary State, California. ICE arrests illegal alien convicted pedophile found living inside daycare for children facility. And the Democrats said, here's a mugshot of the guy. You saw him in a restaurant. You know he was a criminal. An illegal alien convicted sex offender and gang member has been arrested by Immigration and Customs Enforcement after he was found living inside a daycare for children in the sanctuary state of California. Sure. Ezekiel Cruz Rodriguez, an illegal alien from Mexico, was arrested by ICE agents this week after having been deported from the United States on 3 separate occasions dating back to the mid-1990s. According to ICE officials, Ezekiel Cruz Rodriguez is a documented member of the Logan Heights gang. He's an undocumented Democrat, but a documented member of the Logan Heights gang. Has an extensive criminal record with convictions for sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14, separately, sexual battery, separately, illegal possession of a firearm, as well as robbery, and naturally, drunk driving. Naturally, every one of them has drunk driving, right? Cruz Rodriguez was arrested by ICE agents after it was discovered he was living with his wife, an illegal alien, shielded from deportation by Democrats and the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA program, Democrats, inside of an in-home daycare for children in San Diego, California. And this is what the Democrats think is normal. They're in favor of all of this. Got an illegal alien gang member who he was deported. He's been deported 3 times, all right? Just amazing. He was deported in 1996 and federal immigration, and he was deported, and then he came in illegally again, deported in 2003 because it's too easy to get in. Isn't that great? Deported a second time, and then in 2012 he was deported a third time. Cruz Rodriguez, just amazing, amazing stuff. And the Democrats are like, no, open borders, gang members, rapists, child molesters. Let's have more of that. And they will fight you for more of that. Isn't that amazing? Well, it's at least appalling. All right, let's go to number 7, soundbite number 7. Mo Yarborough this morning, Joe Scarborough, with his semi-inflatable flotation device of a third wife. They're on his TV show where they pay him millions to do propaganda for the Democrat Party. Millions and millions. And Joe Scarborough talking about Chicago, and we had played the Governor Pritzker saying, yeah, Trump is a fascist, and he wants to fight crime. We love crime. We want more crime. Joe Scarborough.
I actually think that J.B. Pritzker should do something radical. I think he should pick up the phone, call the president, and say, you know and I know you don't have the constitutional authority to deploy the National Guard here and to police my you can do that in D.C., you can't do that in Chicago. But let's partner up.
You should say that.
These are the most dangerous parts of my state. We would love to figure out how to have a partnership that's constitutional, that respects the sort of balance of federalism between the federal government and the state government.
Yeah, they're always defending the Constitution, aren't they? Right? Sure they are. Yeah, you guys use the IRS, the FBI, the Justice Department, the CIA against your political enemies just in the last months. So, you clowns lecturing anybody couldn't be more ridiculous. Yeah, call and, prattle on about the Constitution or something and say, hey, maybe a partnership. Maybe you pull your head out of your rectum there, Scarborough. What you're saying is that people in crime-ridden hellhole cities, otherwise beautiful except for all the Democrats shooting people, should work with the federal government to fight crime. What a crazy concept that is. Mo Yarborough.
Let's work together to save lives, because right now, just
crazy.
Hey, nothing to see here moving along. No problem here. Hey, Donald Trump, we don't need you. And, the mayor talking about we're going to protect people's dignity in our city. We'll protect their lives. That's protecting their dignity.
You think? Now let's get back to funding Planned Parenthood, because $1 million a year, choice, get an award, get a Lucite block for that. Isn't that amazing? So, but sometimes it reaches the point where the obvious, and this is also obvious, murder is bad, shooting people bad, crime bad, should be less crime, not more crime, fewer murders, not more murders. But the Democrats, they're having real trouble. They're having a gender struggle over this right now. Joe Scarborough.
You know, it would be radical for us to figure out a way to actually do what I've been saying from the very beginning on Washington.
No, you haven't.
And that is seeing politicians creating partnerships that protect their people.
That would be insane. That's great. And you got to say this like he's saying something amazing, like it's something incredible. Wait a minute. We could fight crime. We could be against murder. Gosh, isn't that amazing? Gosh. Crazy. Inez Stepman on Twitter. And I told you my best girl and I, we were down at Union Station, Washington, D.C. yesterday. We drove down to the Capitol and parked and walked around, went to Union Station, went to a variety of other places, checking out the scene, talking to a couple of National Guard people that are there. Inez Stepman says, there is not a single solitary bum in or around Union Station. I have never seen this in my life, she said. Extraordinary what can be accomplished with supposedly intractable problems if you just ditch the idiocy. The idiocy. Yeah. And she said the corner with the Post Office Museum is bum-free. Washingtons will understand how crazy this is, and it's true. And she continues, this is, if this is fascism, I guess I'm a fascist now, she says. Pretty funny. And my best girl, we went in Union Station, we commented on this, and Union Station's looking beautiful, and there were crazy people yelling and screaming. There was some rapper or somebody came through, and a crowd of kids swarmed him, and it was like the Beatles had arrived. It was kind of a fun moment, actually. And it looked like maybe it was going to be a brawl or a fight. Then it turned out it was a little celebration with a rapper arriving. Sort of fun. Looked like a nice guy, actually. But never mind that. There were no bums, no criminals, no gangs of young toughs causing trouble. It was pretty wonderful. And we did go into the Postal Museum, which she cites here as well. And it's true, there were no bums. A couple of blocks away, we spotted one bum, and he was sitting there being quiet. You know, crazy, mentally ill, deranged person that shouldn't be thrown out on the street to die, which is what the Democrats have decided to do with all the mentally ill people and all that. Just crazy, man, crazy. Now let's, it's kind of funny. We have the Kilmore, the Kristi Noem story in our stories sheet because Secretary Kristi Noem did an interview with the corrupt news people, and they edited out everything that, that the Democrat Party wanted edited out. Right? Is it there, Michael? I see. But Kristi Noem did an interview, CBS, talking about Kilmore Abrego Garcia, because the Democrats love Kilmore Abrego Garcia, right? And she did an interview, and then they edited out everything that the Democrat Party didn't want to include. And the headline is, Kristi Noem accuses CBS News of shamelessly editing her interview about Kilmore Abrego Garcia. CBS pushes back after Noem accuses network of trying to whitewash the truth. Secretary Kristi Noem.
The one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America.
She doesn't want Kilmore Abrego Garcia, the wife-beating, illegal alien, gang member, human trafficker, to walk free in the United States of America. And that is the clip that is 6 seconds long that CBS included in the interview. And Kristi Noem then pulled the original because they now make videos of their own interviews because they know that CBS will corruptly edit them. And this is, in actuality, what she said in 33 seconds.
The one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America. This individual was a known human smuggler, a MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors, and even his fellow human traffickers told him to knock it off. He was so sick in what he was doing and how he was treating small children. So he needs to never be in the United States of America, and our administration is making sure we're doing all that we can to bring him to justice.
So they edited out everything that she said except for the 6-second version. This is what you saw if you watch CBS.
The one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America.
Sounds like they've got something personally against him for no good reason at all. But you explained the rest of this, and if the American people heard the fuller story, then the American people would be less inclined to vote Democrat and say we need more crime and more mayhem in the United States because the Democrats. Isn't it amazing? Man, oh, man. Also, John Brennan, penitentiary face Brennan. You know, he's one of my favorite people. He did everything he could to corrupt the American presidential election, ran a major disinformation operation against the American people to corrupt the presidential election. It's what we pay him to do in third world hellholes. He decided to do it here in the United States of America. John Brennan on MSDNC. Wait a minute, you're going to investigate spies lying to the American people and running information operations against us? John Brennan thinks that the problem is cracking down on their abuses of power, not their abuses of power. This is what Penitentiary Face said on MSDNC.
That seems to be the intention, which is to damage individuals. You can damage them reputationally, you can damage them financially, professionally, and so on. And so by putting out these investigations or making these referrals or whatever, it does a lot of damage already, even if it never goes to trial or it doesn't go to a conviction or whatever. And that's the intent.
The intent is culpability, responsibility, holding people accountability. You guys did that to General Michael Flynn, to George Papadopoulos. General Michael Flynn, the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency at one point. Papadopoulos, a Naval Academy grad and a naval officer who was not kicked out for repeated cocaine abuse like Hunter Biden, and on and on. Pretty amazing stuff. You guys. Boy, look at the time. Look what I've done. I got to do Rashida Tlaib. Let's go to Rashida Tlaib. She in Detroit at a crazy Democrat gathering where they really hate the Jews. They want to firebomb Jews' houses, like the governor's mansion in Pennsylvania, as the Democrats did. Rashida Tlaib, she's a jihadi at a crazy Democrat gathering in Detroit over the weekend.
They thought they could kill us, rape us, imprison us, violently uproot us from our olive tree farms, starve our children to death, and we would disappear. Well, guess what? Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States. Y'all, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. They will never truly comprehend, Jama'ah, even after 7 decades, that we aren't going anywhere.
Israel.
We are just getting started.
We're just getting started. Israel must be destroyed. This is the destroy Israel, destroy the Jews thing. And they thought they could rape us. You're still holding hostages that you're raping today. Rashida Tlaib.
I want to say to all of them, every genocide enabler, look at this room's mother. We ain't going anywhere.
She's a member of the House of Representatives with Mama Jan. Listen to the crowd. She was born in Detroit.
We are just growing and growing and growing.
It's the Palestinian thing. She was born in Detroit. She's the oldest of 14 children. Everybody's enabling genocide except for the actual genocidal murderers.
Every corner of the city that raised me has shown me how to fight for civil rights and justice and against oppression. It'll show you, because I want you to be truly present in this city that gave me strength. It's not just Demi Palestina. It's that as an American, this city taught me that the political structures that I have to work in, that we all are surrounded by, was built on slavery and genocide and rape and oppression.
Yeah, genocide and slavery and rape, and that's what the United States was built on. I don't think she's pro-American. She's a Democrat member of the House of Representatives. She's a genocidal Jew hater, a racist, and a hero of the Democrat Party today. They champion her cause. Yeah, Gaza, Palestinian family, born in the United States. She's not assimilating at all. But the Democrats ran her for Congress again and again, and she has won. The Democrat Party is not on our side.
It's not the genocide-enabling Congress or the White House that will free our people. It is only us. It can only be us.
I've got so much still to get to that I'm going to have to come back tomorrow for another 3 hours. I got a couple of minutes left here. President Trump names Rudy Giuliani for the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Presidential Medal of Freedom. The Democrats want to lynch everybody. And there is we played a Greta von Thunberg soundbite for you on Friday where she is now a jihadi.
This story is also about a global uprising, about how people are stepping up when our governments fail to do so.
Kill the Jews.
For every politician that is fueling the genocide, further environmental and climate destruction, and further colonization and fascism, there will be people escalating the resistance against that.
Escalating. The Babylon Bee headline, Hamas terrorists distance themselves from Greta Thunberg. Hamas terrorists distance themselves from Greta Thunberg. Yes, they do. And have you seen Greta's new haircut? Was it kind of a Sir Lancelot or what is it, a He-Man? He-Man, like He-Man Woman Haters, Masters of the Universe thing? Yeah, she's got a haircut. She might want to reconsider that. That's for sure. Also, socialists gather on Labor Day to protest the concept of labor.